Well, welcome back. We are back into side by side. The little goat. Anyways, I have a CV joint that we need to replace, and I'll turn this camera around to show you guys. What I ended up doing was calling the Yellowstone Motorsports, where I had originally got my Honda Pioneer. This is 500, and I was able to get that joint. It sounds like something that's commonly probably needs to be replaced. I've had this is a 2017, so the boot is ripped, and you can just buy the whole joint together, which is what I did. It was $85, and it was free to ship in. They usually, it sounds like, keep them on the shelves. So what we'll do is, I'm not sure how this comes out, but what I think needs to happen, and it kind of sounded like the guy mentioned it on the phone a little bit, but he didn't say it all the way, is I think we need to take that rear axle, undo it, and slide that whole thing back, so that we can pull this shaft out and put the joint in, and then put everything back, slide it back forward. So I think that's what's going to need to happen. Let me turn this camera on and I'll show you guys what we're talking about. Awesome, and so this is it, and you can see where the boot has ripped. I had some duct tape on it because we've been filming some side-by-side trail riding videos for TikTok, actually, which is kind of different for me, but me and Joy have been filming them. People seem to like it. So we had it duct taped on the last one we did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably go ahead and jack this up. I think to get this out is that they are going to have to slide this back, and I think the way it looks is that there's two bolts, one here, there's one up top, and then there's one more right here, and I think if we loosen all three of those, jack this up, that hopefully we can slide this whole thing back, and that should give us enough space to pull that shaft. I'm hoping that that's how it is. I'm going to double check everything and just look, and then we'll go ahead and get this jacked up and kind of maybe you put it on blocks or something like that. Stevie says hi. She's always out working with me on the ranch. If you guys have never met Stevie, this is Stevie. Stevie Catnix. She likes to sing, so that's why her name is Stevie Catnix. She's also crazy evil, but she pretends to be nice. Anyways, and you may see her son around because he's around here sometimes too, wandering around. Anyways, let me get on. Awesome. I'm just gonna spray a little WD-40. I'm probably gonna have to dig out some of these nuts in the back. Driving through so much mud and Calvin. I believe it's just a 3. From what I can see, although I can't see this side, I'm gonna have to dig on it a little bit. Let me get it jacked up and put it in the air real quick. Alright. Hopefully, this is the way to get it off of here. I ain't got enough room. Holy moly. Oh, there's a little bit of a turn. I hope everyone's having a good day. It's actually really nice out. Memorial Day weekend or whatnot. Oh, there we go. Looks like I'm getting some looseness out of it now. And I believe these are 14 millimeters. Tried 9/16 and it seemed like there was still more spacing. So I went with metric instead. The M&M's. Oops. How's it going? Oh. Yeah, it sounded like it's a fairly common part, so hopefully this is helpful to people. Because the part's only $85, but if you take these things into the shop, the cost for a mechanic is outrageous. I don't even remember. I haven't taken one to the shop for years. Of course, I don't take much to the shop. try to fix everything I can. Hate to lose to a machine. Well, got a lot of other projects going on right now too. I was gonna get ready to try to paint the bottom of Joy's Baja 1000. Got a remote control car I'm working on for her, which if you haven't seen by this video, you'll see before too long. It's pretty cool. We had it test driving it the other day in the house. It was raining or whatnot. All right, so that looks like the first one. I'm imagining that this one towards the middle is going to be a little bit harder to get off of there. Cool. We'll continue. Let me see if I can get you a better shot of this one. Awesome. This one's just kind of up in here. See if I can get a turn on it. It don't look nearly as rusty as the bottom ones that are constantly sitting in cow manure. Although I may have to get a cheater. I can't get my arm in here. Us little guys know how to use cheaters. There we go. Got a little bit of a turn on it. Awesome. So I got all three of those out. So now let's see if we can just grab this and pull this back. I don't know. Yeah. Looks like we are sliding it. Might have to lift a little bit. There we go. That slid back. You can see where normal is. So let's get around on the other side and see if we can pull that shaft out of it. Awesome. I'll try to hold the phone here, but this is what needs to, I think this needs to come back or forward. Let me see. I think it's gonna have to push forward. I might have to put the phone on the stand. Yeah, because I think this is coming out of its joint here. Let me see. Let me put this on the stand, see if I can get in here. Well, I finally got this shaft pulled out, so I'll show you what that looks like. It was so easy. No, it was horrible. The boot on the back seems to want to fold under. It's really hard to push forward. So I'll turn this around and show you what I'm talking about. Awesome. So we are back underneath and you can see the shaft here, and I pushed that into there. The boot on the back side kept folding under this part. Doesn't want to go over the top of it, and it had a little band right here. You can see there's a rubber band looking thing. And that was over the top of this boot on the back. But I finally did slip this drive shaft back out, so we should be able to pull this out of here now. And I may have to move this around a little bit. Awesome. I finally sprayed some WD in from this side and it loosened up. So that's it. That's the joint we've been fighting to get to. So I have the new one. Let's take that out real fast, have a peek at it, and then we'll see about getting it back on. So this is the new joint, and it looks like it's the same on both sides, so I don't think it has a way to fit in. They don't give you any type of instructions or anything. They want you to pay them to fix it. Anyway, so yeah, so we'll slide that on. I'll see if I can get some video of that, and then we'll slide that other shaft back in this side, and then we should be able to get this back slid back forward. So that's the plan anyways. So let's see what we can do. Awesome. So welcome back. I actually took it back off the blocks because the tires were pulling it and it was giving me too much of an angle, and when I lowered it onto the ground, that did allow me enough space to push that back so I could get it in. Now it's in, but it's not slotted in, so what I need to do now is take it back off the ground so I can turn the back axle until it slots into place, and then we should be able to push everything back into place hopefully and throw those 3 bolts back in. Let me get it back off the ground and we'll see what we can do. All right, I'm gonna see if I can do this with the camera in front of me, but should be able to kind of turn the tires here and it should slot into place. There we go. Awesome. So now we're slotted in. That rubber piece here is gonna fit and slide into place too once we get that back axle moved up, and then the other one actually goes over the top of the boot, which looks like it's slid out of place again, so I probably will have to fly that boot up. I'm gonna give my best shot to push this forward now. Actually slid in pretty well. Let me throw one of these bolts in just to hold it into place. Awesome, so there we have the old one out. All of our bolts are back in. We just had the 3 to put back in once we got everything pushed into shape. It was pretty easy to push it to where the holes lined up. It wasn't bad at all. Obviously, we have our new boot, new joint right in here. It should all be in place. And then I have that rubber boot on this one back on with that rubber band that goes around the outside of it, and you can see that there. So, but now there's one thing left to do. Let's get in and see if it works. I got little Joy with me. She's getting ready. Let's see if this is gonna. And we'll put it in drive. Looks like we're moving. Oh yeah. Yeah. Seems like everything's gonna be all right, huh, Joy? All right. Well, it's gonna run well. Well, awesome. That wasn't too bad. I've got to go drop this jack off back where I picked it up, but it wasn't too bad. I would say I think it took me about 4 hours to get it all done. It was mainly the hardest stuff was moving things around, and I think if I would have realized that putting it on the ground to push that shaft further in would save me a lot of time. But anyways, seems to be running right. Now we got a new boot and a little CV joint there,